we had dinner, but this is like a real meet and greet, right? It's not an excuse. This is an agenda. So that's what meeting is all about. So I was just talking about how I went to the Samsung Awards last night. And, that award is a 3-hour event. There were 6 jury members, Sachin Bansal, Flipkart, Kunal Behel, Snapdeal. There was Mr. Pai, who was the ex-CFO of Infosys, the guy who was on TV all the time. There was, some guy who founded Avishkar, big Rai, right? Big guy. Senthil, who's the executive director of CNBC 18, and me. So big, and of course the MD of Samsung, heavy duty jewelry. All vampires, right? All sitting over there. And all the damsels were coming in front of us. No, but I think the point was the quality and the seriousness and the beauty of each pitch. So this was a refined conference, right? It was not like 6 people, but there were 600, then they became 60, and then they became 6. And they were constantly being curated and curated. But I felt 3 things. I said, wow, I've done nothing. And I've never felt so small in such a big seat before. So you're judging an event, and you're supposed to be the judge of people, but you're feeling so small because of their achievement. Then there was a farmer, and he came, and I have a lot of biases. Right? I have this and rules, and he came in a dhoti and a chappal, and he had a gamcha over here, a gamcha. Now what happened was, I see that sometimes people in the events are weirdos, right? Some people come, maybe people have some dealer, अरे भाई डीलर को बुला लो, उसके भाई को बुला लो, बाप को बुला लो, पता नहीं होता रहता है यार, दिल्ली में ज़्यादा होता है। Ouch. होता है, सब जगह, just kidding. So I said, यार कोई होगा ये. Then as we started talking, the first set of introductions, this guy got a call, and he picked up the phone and he started talking so loudly in South Indian. I said, what the hell, man? And I looked back and said, what's going on? And there was a guy next to him who said, boss, calm down, to him, and he calmed him down. That guy won the second prize, that farmer. And he was a farmer who could not speak English, who could not speak Hindi. He had come with a translator. The mentor, hey man, hi. The mentor was so great that I actually spoiled the event and said, let's give prizes for mentors. There's never seen a mentor like that. Enormous guy, a brigadier. And this guy had innovated on a machine, which is phenomenal. His insight was that in South India and certain areas, during the monsoon, the water in the field is saturated and it kind of kills the seed. So what farmers have to do is physically go back and reseed the field because the extra moisture kills it. So in a way, he's invented this machine which they showed with a blue barrel. It plows 6 furrows in the field, not one, number 1. It plants the seed as it plows, which is fine. Then it drops a small area of fertilizer along with the seed. With it. And then the backside of that furrow seals the furrow. So it covers the furrow again. And here's the killer, right? And in between the furrows, it sprays a pesticide to kill the weeds. So we have nothing to do except just plow that field once. And he couldn't speak English, and he couldn't say anything. So that was the kind of quality of people there. And I think that made me understand that there's so much of entrepreneurial activity, energy, enthusiasm around the country that I think we're part of, and it's really, really great. I think 2012 is the first year you can tell someone in a party, I'm an entrepreneur, and they will probably understand. Right? I was telling someone that earlier, used to say, मैं तो या तो industrialist हूँ. There are 3 words that used to come. मैं तो या तो industrialist हूँ, या मैं businessman. So industrialist was 1 in million, right? Tata, Birla, Bajaj. Then there was, मैं तो सर businessman. बारे बाप, big shot guy, बड़ी गाड़ी, बड़ा मकान, that big crap. Then there's trader. सर मेरी चांदनी चौक में दुकान है, मैं trading करता हूँ. Finally, used to say मैं service करता हूँ. There are 4 categories of people there. No one said I'm a corporate professional and I'm a, you 500 Fortune 500 guy. But I think now there's so much of diversity in the ability to be an entrepreneur. It's great. The other thing, the guy who won the number first prize, which I must share with you, is a phenomenal, he's a doctor actually, he's a RodinHooder, I was surprised to know. May not be a RodinHooder, but he follows RodinHood. And he invented this bandage, which actually, yeah, you should know, Amit, you know, he's invented, I'll pass you the detail. He's invented this bandage. He said most people die in car accidents. So does anybody know how many people die in India in car accidents? Every day. Take a guess. Yeah, that's the frequency. But how many people?
624.
Perfect, you're clear now. But 620 was still. What an honor to have you, sir. What an honor. Please.
151.
So 500 people die in India every day because of car accidents. 500. Sorry? It's bleeding. It's only bleeding. So 500 people die every day in India because of road accidents. Most of those deaths happen because of bleeding and not being able to stop the bleeding. So this guy said that from the Roman empires to now, the standard idea has been to wrap the wound very, very tight with cork cloth, and when you're on the road, you don't even get some, you tear your shirt, you tear your kurta, you do it. So this guy has invented a bandage that, I can't pronounce the name, it's homostatic or...
Hemostatic.
Yeah, whatever. So it applies itself to the wound and it immediately seals the wound with the bandage and stops the clotting. And it's been used, a variation of that is being used by the US Army in their warfare. So he's trying to introduce this like a... So my challenge to him was that, you know, I'm used to band-aid. The only thing I medicated myself with is, अरे यार लग गई जरा band-aid लगा दो यार. अगर ज़्यादा दुख गया तो घबराहट होती है, खून देकर हॉस्पिटल में भागते हैं. You know, someone else told me कि नहीं Burnol लगाते हैं. चलो भाई very good, Burnol है. If you can make this a standard accessory in every car, in every wallet, in every pouch, it's huge. But it's phenomenal that one product can save so many lives. Right?
It's his own IP or something?
So that's a good question. We grilled him, and this Mohandas Pai is a loony kind of guy, right? He just keep on asking IP. And he said, so he explained that the bandage was a little bit of IP, a little bit of variation. But the way he was productivizing it was IP in itself. So I think, you know, if you can even create, look, I am not the kind of guy who cares about, is it a borrowed idea or is it someone else's idea? Don't cheat.
Yeah.
Don't be Samsung. But I'm a biased guy. And I'm famous for being bad. Don't be Samsung. But if you be Samsung, then innovate. Don't copy. Don't copy someone's exam paper. That's cheating. So I know everybody's got Samsung except me. So he was great. He was a winner. And the third guy was a guy who is inventing some green machine, green technology. They do use. I mean, that was one of those things you hear about all the time, and you know, clap, but you forget about. You know, most conferences, like most of you guys will go home and say, what the hell you have to talk about? I hope not. But if you remember something, it was not the green guy. I didn't remember that. But these two guys were great. Having said that, I think all of them were, there's one common thread, right? So there was one guy who invented the 289th mosquito repellent and he got 289 galis from us, saying, why the hell are you here? But he still stood and smiled 289 times, right? So he could take that insult, right? And I was very cruel. I said, boss, you know, I haven't seen a mosquito, so what do I do with you? You know, torturing you. Across the six contenders, there was this constant throb, like a throb. You could hear it in the room, like throb, like a heartbeat of passion. They're crazy guys. Right? They're crazy guys. They just didn't care about what people were saying. They didn't care about what. Some of them just said, look, I'm doing it because I want to do it. And I think that to me is like a real, tipping point of entrepreneurship. And I think that's some of the themes I want to talk about today, which is we all have great ideas, right? Lots of ideas, great concepts, lots of eureka moments. Oh my God, why hasn't someone done this? Why isn't this happening? You know, Kanchan and me and our husband today we spent probably morning discussing an idea whose time has come. No one has done it, but its time has come. I think the problem is that there is a lot of there's a big valley, like a gap, almost the size of a valley, between wanting and hoping, and even thinking, wow, I've got this idea, and crossing to the next side. And not even execution. That valley is that, it's not even taking the plunge. It's like saying, some of us hope that the idea will make us leap to the other side. The idea is so great. अरे मैं 2-4 VC को बोलूँगा यार, वो तो बॉस, ये तो रॉकेट में मून में भेज देंगे. ऐसे टर्म शीट ऐसे दे देंगे जैसे नैपकिन देते हैं रेस्टोरेंट. Come on, take 2 more. There's a very big misconception, and that is what I want to present today. And I'm thinking extempore, it is not prepared, about the reception of your idea by other people versus the greatness of the idea in your mind. And that is the hypothesis. You are not God's gift to mankind first. You are the garbage that landed up at the VC top. And if you can internalize that, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs get, they break like eggshells. Look, it's all gone. You don't know where the hell it's going to vanish. Because your great idea is not great. It has to be proven to be great. So a lot of times I get this sense that people have some things in their head. Hey, sir, but everybody will be tweeting at 2:33 in the morning. I say, you're an idiot, man. I've never heard something so stupid before. Now maybe people will be. I and Kanchan were discussing that, in the media business, which you all know is something called prime time. And I must share with you a little digression, but in the US, prime time in the 80s was 7 p.m. Dinner is over, supper is before supper, 7 p.m. Prime time shifted to 8 and 9. And now the latest findings are prime time is shifted to 10 p.m. New York, in America. I think youth prime time, which is what I measure by the number of likes you would get on an FB post at a particular time in the day, has moved from what used to be 6 or 5, or not evening time. Afternoon time is definitely 2:35 to 2:45. Between 2:35 and 2:45 or 2:35 to 3:05 in India, if you post on Facebook, you're going to get the maximum likes. Because that's exactly time. Lunch has moved on. People are coming back to the seats. They don't want to do their goddamn work, but they want to have doing FB. So that's the morning, afternoon prime time. But evening prime time has moved to 11 p.m. It is 11 p.m. And it's amazing because no one would have thought. I mean, I've never seen so many people at 11 p.m. I see 10, 12 people on RodinHood at 11 p.m. It is shocking, right? So I think the headline is, no one can think of these things until they're done. So coming back to our point of view, doctor, you're a doctor, you have a great idea and it looks great. I mean, sounds great, but you got to prove it to people. And I think the connector between that great, I mean, we've had a lot of meetings, and he's actually now become our chief guest, so he will speak. That's what happens with the RodinHood. You invite yourself into trouble. So, but I think here's a man. I'll introduce him later. But you've got a great idea. You've got to see it being executed. Hi guys, for who is coming late, greetings. I don't know what it is. I think entrepreneurs are impatient in proving their idea. They're very patient in creating the hypothesis, in the PPT, in the passion of pitching and writing business cases and the competition and going to Plugin and RodinHood. But when Monday morning strikes and no one cares anymore about what you did on Friday evening, and then that mentality to take it and say, nobody cares, and to accept that it doesn't really mean anything to anybody. I think if you can internalize that, if you can just accept that, pardon the language, of bullshit, and you got to make some, value out of that, that I think helps a lot. Because that disappointment is terrible. And I've seen it. A lot of people say, but I was so good here, such a great idea. I met a guy, Roddy won't take his name, with all due respect, but really love him. RodinHood, Mumbai-based guy, Columbia educated, engineer, came with his partner, presented to me such a stupid idea, man. I mean, it's so stupid. If there was a Guinness World Record of stupidity, probably he'd still not win it, but he'd be a strong contender. So stupid. And dude, he said that, I want to go to Columbia. I never was allowed to go to Columbia. I was thinking, oh my God, I wish I could be this guy, man. So stupid. So why? Why is he so stupid? He's not stupid. The idea was, an idea. It made some sense, but very impractical. What I sensed was he was not ready to test the idea. He was ready to defend the idea. He's not ready to say, "मैं कहा यार सब 100 लोगों को let's give out the app to 100 people. I got 130 people in my office. Come on, let's give them all the app. Let's see." No, but Alok, I got to tell you, this is what's going to happen later on. This is why the idea. I said, no, it is not today. Today it sucks. So, long story short, end of bhashan, this bhashan at least, many more to come. That if you are thinking of being an entrepreneur, and if you have an idea that you think is great, validate it. And validate it not by, creating a nice throne and sitting on it, but validate it by going to the market. Read about it, write about it, just because someone has not done it. I grew up in an age and time in the 1998s, which was the dot-com, the Hawa era. Everything was the Hawa. Arey, koi ne nahi kara. That means it's a great idea. Trust me, if no one's done it, it's probably a bad idea. In this age and time, in 2012, if no one's done it, it's a bad idea. Something sucks, something is wrong. Facebook was, I think, the 4th social networking site in its of largeness, right? MySpace was definitely one before. Friend Finder was before. Friendster was before. Sorry, Hi-Fi was before.
Right. Orkut.
Orkut was long live Orkut. Does anybody know where Orkut came from? The name?
Orkut View Cocktail. The guy from Brazil, his girlfriend used to.
No, so he's actually a Google engineer, man.
Yeah, Google engineer.
I missed meeting him by 5 minutes.
Oh my
God. I missed meeting him by 5 minutes. So, guys, you want to sit or you want to stand or you want to sleep or whatever? You can kneel or do Vajrasana, do something.
Delhi we love to be a backbencher.
Yeah, Delhi is it? No, they don't want to be back. They're tall guys. Come. He's a great guy. So I think, again, coming back to validating it, read about it, figure out whether it exists or not. If it exists, then what is the variation that it exists in, and why does it not exist as a greatness? Why is it not big? And so on and so forth. The other thing would be, I think if you see an idea that's been done, can you improve upon it? I interviewed with a well-known tech gadget journalist called Mala Bhargav. She's actually writes for the business world. A very interesting lady. She knows everything, and she's very unassuming. Has anybody read Mala Bhargav?
No, but I read your tweet. Who was interviewing who?
Yeah, because it was so intense. I tell her about an app. She knows 22 other apps like that. I said, I'm using camera awesome. She said, no, have you tried this? She showed me 22 camera apps on her iPad. Bizarre. And what we began to talk about was that why is there the 380th camera app on the iPhone? Why? And that's what we argued for an hour and a half. Why? Why are people so stupid? Why are people doing this, right? And we had a discussion and so on and so forth. But let me tell you this. And again, I'm spinning around in circles because I'm just unloading what's been in my mind. Nothing planned. I was presenting at TEDx at HR college recently, and there was a St. Godin speech that was relayed on live from California. It can speak, I think not live. Everybody knows St. Godin. Look him up, SETHGODIN, St. Godin. And he said something really funny. He said he has looked up the #1 song on iTunes for the last many months, every week. And he has got the following hypothesis. The song is from an unknown artist, mostly. It is there for a week or a day or for a couple of hours, never to come back again. It is downloaded by millions of people to become #1, and no one ever will remember the artist or the song again. So his question was, why is it #1? And he answered it, and he said, because people are curious. People like to see things that they've never seen before. So I think if you can think of a product or an idea which has been done, that doesn't mean that curiosity has ended. You can innovate on it. So if you look at MySpace versus LinkedIn versus Friendster versus Friend Finder versus 6degrees.com, which I talk about a lot, but no one cares and no one knows. Innovator, pioneer. No one could innovate the way Facebook could, right? I mean, Hotmail was probably the 20th free email around ever. Does anybody know what made Hotmail Hotmail? Anybody?
Hotmail was the first, I think.
No. First, there were Rocket Mail was way before.
First, that could be accessed anywhere from.
Yeah, in the browser there.
Rocket Mail was the same. There's one innovation, just one innovation that completely killed it. Just one.
Space.
Something about the mailbox space or something.
No, that time we were not used to space, right? We didn't have Facebook, we didn't have cameras and all that upload stuff.
And then that's the only the reason Microsoft bought.
So he had a line at the end which says, "Get your free email account here."
Okay.
No one had that line.
Virality started with that.
That is why. He was the father of virality. No one ever under Hotmail, what a stupid name. I mean, how the hell is it? It sounded porn to me, so I the first time I heard it, like, what the shit is Hotmail?
Was father of what?
Get your free account,
The father of?
virality.
Okay, right.
I think so. No one invented virality like that. It just boom, it just blew, right? Because everybody is saying, अरे free email ID मिल रहा है. कहाँ से मिल रहा है? Hotmail से मिल रहा है. कौन ने बोला? वो दिखता है सर वो email.
Something like that, Seth Godin said that somebody invented sliced bread and who...
Yeah, he presented that.
Yeah, the manufacturer or the innovator failed terribly.
Yes.
Get like closed down.
Yeah.
Unless you viral things.
Yeah, so I think the headline was, the reason I brought up Hotmail and this example is, if you look at the last 2 or 3 networks, like if you look at Pinterest closed virality, right? Look at the way the word changes, right? Hotmail 99, 98 said, get a free Hotmail account now, and everybody got it. In Pinterest, you are begging friends to get invited.
I think started with Gmail.
Exactly, Gmail. Whatever, Gmail. So even virality has a beautiful flavor, right? What is viral when no one knows about you is get it now. What is viral when everybody knows about you is you can't get it now. That's when you write to 20 more people that I want it. Do you have it? No, I don't have it. Oh, then do you know someone who has it? Now you're telling Alok in his mind, what the hell is Pinterest? Why don't I have it? You know, I posted something once and the guy caught me on Facebook. He said, Alok is insulted that he doesn't have Pinterest or something. He's right, I felt insulted. Why don't I have Pinterest? I should have been like, Steve Jobs should have sent it to me, man. Why not? So I think the point is, even standard stuff that we take for granted has a variation. And you can permute it. So if you take an idea that's been done, no problem. Innovate on the idea. If you take a marketing tactic that's been done and innovate it and reverse it, depending on the way the market is playing out, no problem. I think the key is innovation. You got to keep thinking of, you don't have to innovate on the product. Flash games is an example. I think we are the first company, again, this is not a game swing pitch, but we were the first company to say that we have a invisible ad code inside, so we are so proud to get stolen. Every company I met, till the time we talked about it, said, no, we don't want our games to be stolen. We want the games to be site locked. You can do URL site locking, right, if you put the container. So I think you have to keep on creating variations and ideas. So that's a few ideas, a few thoughts that were in my mind. What I'm going to do is, I think there was some phenomenal talent in the room, phenomenal talent. And I think everybody is like really an achiever here, if not indeed yet in thought, right? You can be an achiever in thought, right? That's most important. How many people even can say I'm an achiever? So I think I want to call each of you or whoever is interested, some by force, some by their own volition, maybe to share 5-7 minutes of, let's curate the event, right? So we've got, it's 3:30, not an hour and a half. I think we should do some chit chat. Gurpreet, what do you say? Chit chat and tea coffee about 4:30 for half an hour, 4:45, 15 minutes? 15 minutes, right? Is that fine with you guys? So let's do an hour at least of sharing and whatever. So maybe 5 minutes. Not like me, like a non-stop mic. Just boom, boom. Just keep it crisp, short. I think share anything you want. What are you trying to do? What are you proud about? What are you ashamed about? Don't talk about some, a dog that you're missing and you wish he was reborn as your neighbor and all that. No, not all that. It's real funny, not good stuff, right? And we're going to start with you. So you're going to introduce yourself, right?